So it's been confirmed. Nathan Jones this morning has been sacked by Southampton after 14 games and 3 months in charge. Today's video, I'd like to talk about the Nathan Jones antics and everything around that from a Luton Town supporter's perspective. If you don't know who I am, I'm Deggy UK, a content creator revolving myself around the gaming world, but now transitioning also over to the football, the sport in general, and posting any vlogs I do. I'm a Luton Town home and away season ticket holder. If you do like today's video, please do drop us a sub and maybe a like and maybe comment to let me know about your thoughts, or if you're a Southampton fan, a Luton fan, or even a Stoke fan from his previous careers. Let me know in the comments. Let's get into the video. Before we do get into the Southampton side of things, I do want to just cast our mind back to 2016 when Nathan started at Luton. The perspective he had from Luton, the philosophy and everything that worked around it. That will then tie in nicely with my opinions around why it failed at Southampton. So Nathan Jones joined us back in 2016 on January, where we were in a relegation battle in League 2. He managed to go on and win 11 of his 21 matches and playing mainly a 4-4-2 and then transition into a 4-4-2 diamond position. So we passed the season, we got through League 2 and made sure we didn't get relegated. I personally think that we obviously a struggling Luton in League 2, bringing on a manager or assistant manager from Brighton, a lot bigger club at the time, etc. The players that were at Luton have come through from the conference and stuff like that. Needed that boost, and Nathan certainly was that. When we got through to the end of the season, he was able to then rebuild and structure. He ended up releasing, I think, 13 players, and he brought in 8 brand new players. Nathan's philosophy was always trying to bring on them players that hadn't quite made it yet and coming through the youth form and making them into very good players. We see that through some of the signings we've had. James Justin coming from one of our own, Jack Stacey, Harry Cornick, James Collins, for instance, going on to the international, and even Elijah Adebayo, for instance, now obviously coming through from League 2, now playing in the Championship. These type of players have obviously he's built and come through. I think when he went to Stoke, it was a much bigger opportunity, the money and everything like that. You've got a manager who hasn't been at the top flight, who has been working with these type of players that he's brought through from the conference and League 2 and moving up into the Championship, etc. And even League 1 at the time when he went to Stoke. You're then having the likes of Butland and players that have been in the Premier League, ex-experience, know what they're talking about, etc. And you've got a manager that has not been at that level before to try to make it. I don't know whether it's a case of the respect or what the players have nowadays that feel I'm bigger and better than the manager, etc. Whether that is even the case. But his ideas he tried to bring in and was proven that obviously he didn't work at Stoke. He's managed to come back to Luton, where his whole base that he'd built around for the last few years was already there. League 1, we smashed it. And the way we smashed it was a 4-4-2 diamond formation where we had Jack Stacey and James Justin, who have both gone on to Leicester now and Bournemouth, sprinting down the wing and crossing the ball in for James Collins at the front post or near post. And the delivery was excellent. That won us pretty much the whole of League 1. He then, obviously, during that League 1 period, he did go off to Stoke, and we had Mick Harford in charge. He's now come back to the club when we were struggling in the Championship after Graham Jones taking over. And again, his core players were already still there. And it was just a case of picking them back up from where they'd left off and continuing that journey. He'd built everything around it. He'd smashed it, and we were continuing. And he then developed this formation of a 3 at the back and the wing back. So he already knew this diamond formation worked, and we had that to fall on. He wanted these wing backs to advance further forward and have 3 at the back. It did work. However, we started playing a over-the-top ball. Our tick-attack of football, so to speak, in League 1 had almost not been lost, but we'd sort of lost our ways coming into the Championship. And we were playing quite a lot more over-the-top balls and getting into the final third, which Harry Cornick would ever run onto, and Adebayo, etc. And I think it was teams were starting in the Championship to actually work us out. If they sat further back, we wouldn't be able to do that, and we'd have to find another way to get through. And yes, although we were still picking up the points because teams were not doing that or we were defending well, I just feel that it was starting to get found out, and hence why our new appointment of obviously Rob Edwards has come in, and we're starting to play some more right football. The final third is still not quite there, but I feel it will get there. So with this in mind, you look at Nathan Jones's record with Southampton, and personally, I felt that it was a bad decision for Southampton. Looking at Nathan's track record, his philosophy and everything like that, he's a manager that has needed time to begin with to get himself in position. The Premier League is a cutthroat place that you must get results straight away. And for someone like Nathan to come in, never got the experience in the Premier League, to put all of his philosophy and everything in place, he's going to need more time than 3 months is what he's been given. You look at the likes of Chris Wilder coming in from Sheffield United. He was successful going through the Championship, got them into the Premier League, and he went on and did some good things in the first year and so on. And he's got his core players that he built in the Championship. He's then learning with them players, got into the Premier League, and he's still learning with them players as a whole group, and he's trying whatever he needs to do. Whereas with Nathan, he's come straight in, a brand new team, a brand new way of thinking, a brand new whole environment, and he's got to get off the feet and running. You should look at some managers that do this, and then other managers like Nathan who may need a little bit of time. You can certainly see in the last few games that all this pressure has got on top of him, and he has changed his way. He's coming out with ridiculous statements in press conferences. He's not. He's admitting fault that is not himself at the moment, and I think a lot of that comes down to the fan base as well. In terms of Southampton, got on top of him quite quickly. When you look at his record, he's played 14 games. He's won 5 of them. He's still in the FA Cup 5th round with Grimsby. Hopefully, obviously, that a game you should win and get through to the quarters. He got knocked out in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. Yes, it is quite a lot about the league. You've only won 1 in the league. However, I think there's still a fair bit of time left, but the fans shouldn't have got on him that quickly, in my opinion. Yes, I've just said not the right appointment, and obviously the owners have obviously admitted that now and gone, yeah, our mistake. We'll get someone in it now to try and rebuild this. However, I don't think it had been as bad as it was if he hadn't have had that much pressure. The fans wanting him out straight away from quite early on, and he's beaten Man City, beaten Crystal Palace, beaten Lincoln, all in the space of like a week or two, and felt like it was turning around. And then it's sort of gone back on itself. Yesterday's performance against Wolves, who are 10 men, obviously has not helped one bit at all. So where does this leave Nathan Jones, Chris Cohen, and Alan Sheehan? Obviously, it's going to be a little bit of a dent in their CVs that they've only lasted 3 months in the Premier League. However, I think they'll be fine. There's clubs out there, League One potentially, come the end of the season that will want a new manager in order to freshen things up and go forward. They've proven themselves that they are successful at Luton, and they've got themselves through, obviously, where we are today. I don't think he should have left Luton. I think he should have continued. As I said with the Chris Wilder situation, he should have continued with Luton. He had something going. We were starting to slip up a little bit with teams realising that if they sat back a little bit more, than we couldn't have gone over the top. But he had his core players. He had everything he needed there. Everyone knew what was happening. We put all our loyalty back into him when he left for Stoke originally. He come back, did some good job. He proved himself, and we're now looking more positive. If he'd have made himself into the Premier League that way, he'd have done it. But I don't think now what has just happened with Southampton, he will not be a Premier League manager again unless he does a similar thing to what Chris Wilder has done, where he will bring another team up. Good luck to him. I hope he does do it. I don't believe it's going to be with Luton again. Certainly not anytime soon, with Rob Edwards doing a great job here. But I'm sure he'll take the rest of the season off unless a team comes in directly, lower league, wants him to do something similar to what he did back in 2016. But he's got all this money now from Southampton. He's going to probably take himself time to relax. It's been quite a stressful period of time, and I wish all three of them the best of luck, whatever they do. And yeah, look forward to seeing many things in the future. Thank you for watching today's video. Like I say, if you do like it, please do drop us a like. Maybe drop us a sub and comment in the comments below what you thought of your opinions, whether you're a Stoke fan, Southampton fan, or even a Luton fan. And I will look forward to replying to them. Until next time, guys, see you in the next video.